Hey guys, and welcome to another video. My name is Julie, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about something that many of us are feeling through life, especially before awakening. We can feel that there's something fundamentally artificial or something fundamentally not right about life. It can be very hard to put the finger on, but it can feel very real. And it feels really real that there's a deep sense of that there's something. I'm not sure if I'm going to say there's something more, because when we say there's something more, it can usually turn into a bigger belief system about life. There's something more, and it has to be, it can be very, very easily interpreted by the mind as a bigger idea, like a bigger matrix. And that's true. Also, there's much more to life, but there's also that deep knowing. Some of us are aware of that deep knowing that the mind world is an illusion and the identity that we carry is an illusion. And we can't really put the finger on what it is. I would never be able to articulate it back in the days, but at some point I knew that it was not real. Like I wasn't real, or what I took myself to be. Especially when I was younger, like 11 and 12, and until I was maybe around 18 or 19. I felt that sense of life was fake or shallow or superficial, especially society, like television, the music, the way people presented themselves, the way people interacted. It was like they were playing a role, like they were trying to get sort of social control or social power through being false, being fake. And I could feel it. And I resisted it for a long time because I sensed so strongly that people are not being authentic. It was like the social game. At some point, like innocence and purity of childhood turned into that social game. And it was just so uncomfortable and so unnatural to me. But at some point I sort of just played along. I just surrendered, and I started to also play a role because it was so uncomfortable to be sort of on the outside too. I felt like I was on the outside of it. So I tried to perfectionate and create that persona to become feel a sense of belonging, I guess, to feel like I belonged. And I felt that it was a trade-off. Either I have to be natural as I am, then I will never be socially accepted. So I have to let go of that and play the game. So I did that from like 17, 18. And after that, like 18, 19, I suffered a lot, especially I tried to constantly perfectionate and create that image. And it was like everyone else did it too, right? So there was nothing special about it. But it felt very, very strange to me at a deep level, and very, very like along it came a lot of suffering. I was rejecting parts of me, or parts of the authenticity, to create the social acceptable persona. And it created more suffering also. But I also protected myself through that role, or that mask that I held to the world, right? This is me, and I'm like this, and I rejected other parts of myself. So I was split. I felt like I was splitted until I woke up a few years later. I was 21, 22. Or I guess the phase started when I was becoming more aware about all the suffering I'd created for myself through the thoughts. All like the mental prison became more and more apparent to me when I was 21. And it was a gradual awakening that next year. A clarity and a realization that the persona was just something I took on a few years ago, and I don't need it, right? I don't have to think about who I am all the time. I can just be without that. I can live without creating that persona. But that's the ego. It creates a separate sense of self. And at some point we believe in it. We think it's real. We think it's who we are. It feels very convincing at some point. So awakening for me was not mystical. It was just obvious. It was just becoming real, like going back to real, back from away from fake and artificial, but I deeply knew inside that is not natural who I am. I just became like the I before anything else, what we really are. That we can't put any words on, because then we're already a step out of it. We're already one step out. The moment we try to define it, right, then we're already in the thoughts. So I think that feeling, like going around feeling like life is fake or artificial, humans are shallow, like there's something fundamentally inauthentic about life, and sensing that on a deep, deep level, I think a lot of us are aware of that feeling, that the world is an illusion. Really, that's what it is. That's how it felt for me, like when I became aware of it, you can say. So I don't think I think all of us at some point, we know it's true. We know that's how it is. We know that the world is an illusion, but some of us are more conscious of that feeling, and we can't be mentally conscious of it, because the mind can't follow us there. It's an intuitive feeling. It's an intuitive knowing. That's, yeah, that is beyond anything. It's very existential too. So if you recognize this, maybe you have gone through an awakening and you're watching this channel, or you are curious about awakening, if this message resonates with you, I definitely think awakening is something that can be on your path for sure. Yeah, so that's what I had for today. And leave me a comment below if you are familiar with the description I gave today and the feelings that I tried to describe. And I'll see you in the next video. So much love and namaste.